Okay, I got a couple dish finds here. Got me a Hughes net dish here, and I got me a 10-foot dish here. I had to dismantle the thing. Took about 2 hours. I'm gonna tear it completely down and redo it, paint it, make it look new. I'm hoping I can get it half decent, maybe looking new. Put it all back together and put it on the pole. This will be like number 6. Just like that and over there. This will be like number 6, but I still got to check the LMBs out and everything. Get everything working. I got about 3 or 4 more I'm gonna pick up. I'm gonna have about a total of 10 of these C-band dishes rebuilt and done. Put multi-switches on them, diplex switches, and I'll eventually get them going. Okay, another thing on this thing, I'm pulling this feed assembly out of here. One of the reasons people have satellite failures, especially using these old feeds, is that all these bees buzzing around in these things, especially around this time of the year, around April, May, you're going to have bees, wasps especially. I'm trying to see if I can get this thing to work. It's been exposed, so I'm going to, maybe I can take it apart and see if I can get it to work. Man, there's a nest right there on the feed, on your probe right there. I don't want to stick my finger, I might get bit. But that's usually a lot of failure on these satellites, especially if you got the old type feed. You need a cover on them, and you get wasp nests up in them things, and it do a lot of damage. Okay, I'm just setting this off here. I'm gonna set all this off here with the rest of the stuff till I can put it all together. Talk to you later. Okay, I am got that pole here. I'm getting all these bolts off here using this 1040 penetrating oil blaster to get these old ones off. And thing is, you got to get it all up in there. You don't want to force it. Just a little bit at a time. And what I'll do is I'll take this hammer here, just kind of pop it. Just turn a little bit at a time. And then see it's coming out slowly but truly. And get these off, and I'll get them all off same way. I got that one backed off. I gotta get this one backed off, these backed off. Then I'm gonna take these out here and clean them threads out. Put me some new bolts in there. I might just keep the same bolts. If they're get them cleaned up good, I might keep the same bolts. But this is I'm gonna take this piece off here, and I'm gonna take this over here, set it on that middle pole right there. And I set them poles a couple days ago. What I do, when I do set them poles, keep the water out. I'll get me a cup, put it on top, keep the water out of the pole, because I don't want the pole to, all that water to get all up in there and cause that thing to deteriorate and rust. So I'm gonna set me, what I'm probably gonna do, I'm gonna set me an 8-footer there, and I'm gonna set a 10-footer on this one, which is all took apart in my shed. That's been sitting in there for about a year. Finally gonna get to it. Once I get this mounted on there, then I'm gonna go get my sections and put them all together, clean them up, and I'm gonna have me another dish there. I got about 7 of these poles set now for all my dishes. Let's get everything done. I'm gonna daisy chain everything together and put everything on switch. But that's pretty much it for now. But I'm gonna just keep right on working with this. get all this apart. Like you say, I got to take my time doing it because I don't want to break them off. Then I'll have to easy them out, drill a hole and easy them out. I don't want to do that. It's too much trouble. But just break them off and get them off, get them loose, and I'll take it and set it on the pole over there. Okay, I'm back on this dish. I just got this pole out of there. By slowly turning it, it didn't take much. Now I got to get up in here. I'm afraid they'll pop on me, so I don't want them to break. Well, at least I got this off. There's holes up in here. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna squirt a bunch of that penetrating fluid up in there, and hopefully that'll break them. Then I'll clean all that mess out. I'm thinking I might have to go out and get some new bolts, because I'm pretty well gonna strip these bolts. I'm gonna have to I'll probably go get a 6-point wrench and stick on there, because that one right there just keeps slipping. So I'm gonna have to go get a 6-point, because it's starting to strip here. And what I have to do, if it takes a half hour, it takes a half hour. If I go from here all the way around, one thread at a time, let it cool off, go on to the next one, do the same thing, put some penetrating on there. So a little bit at a time, go from here to here to here to here. I think I can get them all off there. And when I get them all off there, I'm gonna clean all that up. Get me a wire brush, clean all this mess up. Go up Lowe's or somewhere and go get me some more bolts, stick in there. Clean them threads out good, be good as new. Then when I tighten it down on the dish, the whole of the dish should be fine. Get all that rust and corrosion out. The main thing is I want to get that pole out there. Once I get that pole out there, I think I'm good now. That way I know I have to drill these out. So I just squirt a little bit on both ends and just keep going with it, and don't let it get too hot because it'll pop, break. Just go around to the next one and just go all work my way around till I get them all out of there. Then we'll be good to go. Okay, another thing is it's better. I went to Harbor Freight and Lowe's, and it's better to use a 6-point. These things here, they get where they want to strip. But the problem is you can't find a 6-point wrench anymore. You can find these box ends. That's about it, and these breaker bars, but that's about it. But I went to Harbor Freight over here. Don't ever buy one of them things at Harbor Freight. Use it one time, put this bar on there trying to turn that thing. And the first time I used this thing, which is a piece of junk, this piece right here snapped off. First time I used it. So this thing here is going back to Harbor Freight. I paid about $12, $15 for this thing. It's going back to Harbor Freight, and I'm going to get my money back. I used it one time, and the thing snapped off. So don't ever buy these things at Harbor Freight. You sit there and put some pressure on there, this old thing here is just going to snap right off. It's just a piece of junk. I guess they make this stuff in China. But used to be, back in the day, I could buy me a set of Craftsman tools, and metric or standard, it doesn't make no difference. If I wanted to, I could get double boxed ends, and one would be 6-point and one would be 12. But I guess that's not the case anymore, so maybe I'll order me some, I guess. It's like you just can't find them anymore. And that's really what you need. You need your 6-point. You got 6 sides here. That's what you need. You don't need that 12-point, because all that stuff is just going to strip off. You won't never get it off. And these things ain't all that great neither, especially when you buy one at Harbor Freight. And the way I see it, the Craftsman, it ain't that much better. So I guess if you want good tools, I guess you just got to find something good online and order them. So I kind of want to go back to 6-point on all my tools anyway, because I can get more done that way, and then I can get this done. The thing ain't got to sit here and slip and everything else. And I might have a better chance of getting it off without it snapping if I had a 6-point. But you can't hardly find them anymore. But like I say here, I got that nice and clean, and put me a new one in there, clean it up, wire brush it up. I'm gonna paint all this up. This one here, like I said, I'm just gonna cut these off, drill it out, take me easy out, clean the threads up, get all that rust out of there, put me a new bolt on there. I'm gonna go from there. That's pretty much gonna be it. Yeah, I got this nice and clean. I'm putting cleaning these threads up here. I need to go and get the right wrench and be done with it. Clean these threads up, get it nice and clean. Just turn it all the way in. Get them nice and clean. And got it nice, and I can sit there and turn it with my fingers now. Got it all nice and clean. And I'm going to go ahead and unscrew this thing. That looks all nice and clean. I got it all cleaned out. Got all this crud out. Look at all that crud. I'll just squirt me a little bit of more of that. These things look good as new now. And the other side, same way. Then because I cut them two off, and do the same thing. And I'll continue on with this in a little bit. Okay, I'm back on this dish. I got this bar hook stable this wire. I drill these bolts out of here. What I do is I put me a bit one side smaller than the bolt and drill that out. Get all that out of there. Then I'm gonna take this piece right here, screw it in there, and get them old remnants of that old bolt out of there. Then run this back forth through and clean my threads up just about as good as this here, and hopefully get good as new. But I'm not gonna put no new threads in there. I'm just gonna probably just use the same threads. Then I can put my new bolts up in there. But like I say, I gotta get this out of here. Once I get this out of here, then I got two of them out and cleaned up. Put my new bolts in there, get this one out, and get the one on the other side out, and then I'm clean it up and paint it up and put it on the pole over there. Actually that middle one there, it's a 10-footer gonna go on. And paint it up and hopefully be good as new. All right, I'm back on this. I got these two clean. A little bit of hard work wire brushing. And I washed it off with a water hose. Look like they brand new. I got them all clean. Now, I got these other two over here. I'm gonna get them next. But I'm so wore out. Look at the difference. Them look brand new compared to these. This dish is probably over 20 years old. 25 maybe. But I'm so wore out. That's about 2 hours worth of work maybe on both those. Maybe a little more. So wore out. I'm gonna try something. I'm gonna get me a bucket of water and some Dial soap and get me a mop. And I'm gonna see if that'll work. I usually use wire brush because sometimes I'll think them chemicals, they might mess that, might eat that dish up, eat that stuff away or something, but I don't think it's gonna work. Somebody told me it might work, so what I'm gonna do on this, get me a bucket of water and soap, Dial soap. I might use some laundry soap, some powdered laundry soap. That's what I'll probably do, just use some powdered laundry soap. And I'm like if I was washing a vehicle, and see if it'll break that stuff up, and I'm gonna try that. Because I do these things all the time, and when I can. I've had this sitting in the dang barn for almost a year, and the weather's fine. I'm finally getting to it. All that crud, that's just the paint peeled off. Well, I got all that crud off, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna try some soap and water. It might be a little easier. And if it works, it works. If it don't, it don't. I'll just go back and use the wire brush. I'm gonna try that. Okay, I'm back on this. I'm figured I'd try me some soap, some laundry detergent, and some water. I got them clean, but I figured I'd try that. I got it on there. Actually, it's breaking some of that stuff loose. So now I still might have to get down there with wire brush and get these. But it's most right here on these ribs. It's pretty much breaking that stuff off, so it works. But what I would do, just kind of don't pressure too much. Just kind of just run it along here like that. And believe it or not, it's breaking that stuff up. But I wouldn't get too hard about doing it because you don't want to break your mesh. But it's working. So what I'll probably do is kind of put a light coat of it on them ribs and kind of put some of that soap and water on them there. And then I'm just gonna rinse the whole thing. Looks like it's actually breaking that stuff up. You can actually hear it doing its work. So it's actually eating that stuff off there. So it might be a good idea. Save some time. Took me about 2 hours to clean that, and I've been on this for about 10 or 15 minutes, and looks like it's breaking it off. So I'll probably just put that hose on there. Hopefully it just spray it clean. And of course there might be a little bit left. Now all these will be clean. It's getting all that. So that the soap and water will be good for that. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna spray all this off. And whatever's left, I'm pretty sure it's gonna be some of this stuff stuck in here. So I'll probably have to use a wire brush and go back through it and spray it again. It looks like it's gonna look pretty good. So yeah, use a wire brush to get some of these hard to reach places. Now that's just bare wire there. That's bare wire. So there's no residue there. That's just bare wire. But basically hard to reach spaces, yeah, use a wire brush and kind of loosen it up. And get you some soap and water and just kind of go over it. That should take care of it. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish this up because I need to see if I can go ahead and hang these things today and get them on this pole here. Hopefully I'm gonna try to get this done today before it gets dark. I'm using switches on all these. More to come, you know. This is earlier, I guess maybe 6 or 8 months ago, I drilled all these out. I got all this is all new. And all of it's brand new. I changed all the bolts out and everything, and I got all this set. All I gotta do is just take that stuff over there, them ribs, and mount them on here and line everything up, and that should be it. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this done and see if I can get this stuff hung today. All right, what I did, when I put these together, I kind of get this picked up when they're kind of sitting up, and I set that up there. I kind of shove them together. It's a lot easier to do it from that end and get started. And all you got to do now, kind of just pull them together and pull them in here. They should go right on in together. See, and just kind of work it in. You're gonna have to pick it up a little bit. I'm gonna have to do this off camera. Okay, what I did, because I had to do it off camera, what I did, I just picked it up like this. As I picked it up, they'll slide in together like that. Then I get this one right here started here. And all I got to do is put them two in there, kind of tighten them up. I kind of just have them hand tied. I don't have to tighten them all the way. Because if I'm not remember correctly, when I set it in the tray, I'm not sure, but I might have to pull two back out in order to hold it in the tray, but I'm not sure. So I'll show you that when I get it sitting in the tray. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna run uptown and get some bolts, finish that up so I can put them two halves there. Then I can just pull couple bolts out and set it in the tray, lock it in. I have to pull 4 of them out. It'll same size bolts, it'll lock it in. So all I gotta do is go get some more bolts. It's getting dark now, probably gonna do it tomorrow. Just go uptown and get some bolts. Meantime, I had to put some spray there. I had a bunch of ants laying in an ant bed. I had to spray them down. I'm gonna get some of this penetrating oil, squirt all up into this. Get all this good to go. And I'll probably put that arm back on there tomorrow too. Probably pull this off. Stick me a, well, it's probably lined up to something already. The way I look at this arm, it could be 133 west, I don't know. All them trees ain't gonna get it. So I'm gonna probably just pull this off, put me a wrench in there and turn that thing out. I'm probably gonna set that for Galaxy 16 or 113 west or Galaxy 16, or maybe I might just do a rule on them others and move this over to something different. I don't know. I'll figure it out as I go. But I'm gonna get back on this tomorrow. Okay, I'm back the next day, the next morning, and it don't look like I'm gonna do anything today because we got a sorry weather forecast, just like sorry everything else in this state. They don't know how to predict the weather forecast, so got up and I looked at the radar. I didn't look at no local radar, I looked at the national, and it says there's a storm coming. High winds and lots of rain. So I figured I do all this stuff next week because I got to go to work. So I'm going to put all this stuff off to a clear day. I'm going to mount this thing. Can't do it today because of the shoddy weather forecast that they have around here. But like everything else, of course, I'm going to go ahead and move this out of the yard. That way the wind don't catch it. I got this clean up area out of here, and I got this thing in here. Nice and neat, secure. I got both halves in there. These things look too new. They look brand new, and I ain't about to have the weather to pick them up and carry them across the yard and destroy them after all that work. So, of course, I got more to do later. But I'll just finish this up on another day. Probably next week when the weather's good. I'll be back with this later. Well, I tried to put the two halves in, it didn't work. It's kind of hard to do because they just wouldn't line up. So I figured I'd just go back and just put the whole thing together and put it on there. It was actually pretty dang easy. It just slid right up in there and I put it on there. Unfortunately, I run out of bolts. These here are a little longer, and I kind of should have realized that earlier, and I just put these on here temporarily till I can go pick me up some more. So this will work temporarily. So I about got this here done. So I'll continue on later. Okay, I'm on back on this, still working on this, putting it together. What I did, I got to the part where I put my carriage bolts through this, and I find out that these small carriage bolts, like this here, when you put them in there, it won't catch. And the reason is, it's too small. However, the carriage bolts on these are the same size as these. What it is all these dishes are different. These are 7/16. You use a 7/16 type of nut on here for a 7/16 wrench. All of these here, these are all 7/16. Same size as this. Matter of fact, on this dish here, you can use a 7/16 wrench to do the whole assembly. However, this is a different brand. This is an Ultra Mesh. So on this particular dish, you need 7/16 wrench, 9/16 wrench, and 1.5 inches. These are actually bigger. This is a heavy duty dish. This is the 7/16. See, these got to come off. They got to be replaced with these 1/2 inch. They're very tight, so you have to screw them in, and they'll come out. So I'm gonna have to replace all them with them 1/2 inches because I got to thinking when I was putting the centerpiece on there, it wouldn't fit a while ago, the carriage bolt. And I got to thinking, you see how wobbly this is? Not to mention, there's, when you look here, through here, you see all that gap in there. You can't have that. That'll throw your signal off because it's very sensitive. You got that gap. And I got to wonder why all that light's in there. Well, wrong size. And I got them tightened up as tight as they go. Still got the gap. So I got to thinking, I'm gonna pull that out and put a different size in there. So I got a 1/2 inch wrench on this, a bigger nut. they'll go, but they're tight. So I think this is the right one to go in there. So I'm going to change all these out. Going this way and this way. Have them all loose. And I'm going to do it like I did it on the bottom, on the ground. I'm going to start from this side here, tighten it up, work my way in, go from the bottom, work my way in, change all them out same way there and there. Tighten everything snug. And I believe that should eliminate my problem. And I got the right size here on these carriage bolts here. This is going to go through here. This is going to take a 9/16, 4 of those. It's going to take 9/16 carriage bolt. You know, that's the size of a wrench, 9/16 on these. And of course, these are going to be bigger. They'll be changed out as well. And that should solve my gap problem. Of course, this thing here, this is brand new, so I want to put it back brand new. Matter of fact, it's probably going to be better than what it was when I took it down. Because when I took it down, I don't think it had the proper nuts and bolts on there from the start. So everything's going to be proper. So I think this is going to work pretty good. So you got to make sure when you take these things down, you put it back together with the right size. And it's like I say, it's tight. You got to screw it in. It'll go in, but it's tight. So you got to, there's no 7/16 on this particular ultra mesh dish. It takes 3 different sizes bolts to go in there. Now this right here, 7/16, same way with this one over here, all 7/16. So they're all different. So one size don't fit all. They're all different. This is a better quality dish than this one is. Actually, that's the lowest quality, and this is the kind of medium quality. This is actually the best, which is ultra mesh. I guess they're out of business now. It's made in the USA, but it's pretty much the best. I think I had one years ago that I installed down here in Florida, but this is, I think they're out of business, but I think that's probably the best one out of all these dishes I got. I got about 7 or 8 dishes. I got a couple back there too. But I'm going to keep on going with this. Talk to you later. Alrighty. This is going. See right here. Sometimes it gets so tight, especially on your last one, you got to just give it a little help. You go the wrong way. It'll go. Just got to keep going with it. Kind of hold it with your finger. There, it's coming out the end there, see? Just gotta just take your time doing it. It's kind of pain in the butt dealing with this stuff. That's probably why a lot of people give up on it, but keep it going. You'll get it. Like I say, all them holes right there. When I put the correct stuff on there, it'll pull everything correct together. That way you won't have all this here wobbly shaking stuff. That's what it is. It had the wrong size bolts in there. I think when I took it down, it had the wrong size bolts in there. That's why I was kind of deceived. I got the same size that was there, but I got to looking at that thing. Man, that stuff's wrong. So it's probably going to perform better than what it did when it was up. But I got it all back together. I'm going to go ahead and continue on with this. Okay, back on this. Got everything swapped out. Got them smaller ones out, put these in there and got them all swapped out. Tightened up tight all the way down here, same way. Kind of closed my gap a little bit. There's not very much light. You see a little, but it's a lot closer now. Now it's real snug, everything's snug, solid. This here was a challenge. This middle piece. Like everything else when you rebuild this stuff. First thing what I did is took me a long bolt, and doing it myself, stuck through there and just swung it up over. You know, you get one in there, then you put a nut on the other side, then you swing it up over, and you get your other ones in there. They'll line up perfect. That way it won't fall back down. Then once you do that, The one the nut was holding, you pull it back off. And of course you got your bolts in here on this side, and you just go and put this in there. Then you put your nut in there, then you get everything lined up, and you just kind of pull everything together. This is all solid now. I swear this thing will probably outperform this one. I wouldn't be surprised this thing here will outperform this one 2-to-1, even though it looks like it's a little bit bigger than that one there. So this one here is gonna be like a brand new one. I pretty much changed everything out. All the bolts and everything's changed out on this thing. So pretty much like a new one. So I'm going to continue on. I'm going to put my feed assembly on there. Right here. 4 spots. Here, 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 and here. Put my feed assembly on there. Then I'm going to go ahead and get an L&B on here and try it out. And maybe see if I can watch a little TV on this thing. Okay. As long as it's taking me to do this, I finally got this I got this spray painted, cleaned up, got all the crud off of it. Doing a few final touches right here. Got that all spray painted up nice and neat. And what I'm gonna do, I'm just using this to hold it on there. I'm gonna pull this off, change all this out, and I'll be ready to put this on this dish right here. Then I'm gonna kind of touching this up a little bit here. Right here a little bit, not a lot. Just kind of touching it up. Yeah. A little touch up here. You know, make it kind of look a little pretty good. Kind of, you know, not a lot. It's pretty clean already. Just kind of touching it up right here. Yeah. Looks pretty good. Yeah, looks pretty good. Yeah, right here, I hit it right here a little bit. Where it's all, where I got it straight down to the aluminum. Kind of hit it right there a little bit. No big deal. There's one right there, a little bit there. Right there. It ain't got to be perfect. Overall, it's pretty good. So I'm ready to go ahead and set them arms, change my L&B out, and I'll be good to go.